If you go to your company settings in the provisioning system, just search for the business configuration, guys. You should be, yeah, you can see here, enable business configuration, right? This is the only switch associated, or I can say the feature associated with respect to your business configuration tool. And yes, the business configuration tool is part of your metadata framework, guys. So make sure your metadata framework, the generic objects, is already active in your provisioning system, guys. We already activated that, so we are good with respect to that, guys. So make sure the main feature that you need to activate is the business configuration in your provisioning system, guys. Once that is done, in order to access your business configuration tool, so the second step is you have to go ahead and let me write down the steps, guys. Business configuration feature activation in provisioning system, and the second thing is like you need to grant permissions in RBP, guys. So you should know the place where you are going to grant the permissions to access your business configuration tool. Yes, you can see those permissions. If you go to your administration tools, and if you go to any specific role that you are interested, go to your manage permission roles. Let me take this. One second, guys, not that one. Yeah, no worries. Let me take that. And go to your permissions, and here you can see something called as, it should be under metadata framework, guys. One second. Yeah, here it is. Just a second, guys. Yeah, you see manage business configuration, guys. Sorry about that. You can see here manage business configuration. Yes, you are granting permissions to this particular role to work on your manage business configuration, and what you are going to edit is, as I told you, yes, you are going to work on the succession model elements. So you have to make sure that the role you are interested, you have to activate this thing, guys. Then only you will be able to use your business configuration UI tool to configure your succession data model things, guys. So this is the second thing, guys. And the third thing is going to be like, you have to set up a synchronization job in your provisioning system, guys. Because the reason why you have to set up a synchronization job, the reason why it is like, because your succession data model storage is a different place and your business configuration UI storage is a different place, guys. So these are two independent storages with respect to the metadata, and you need to keep a synchronization between these two things. Your succession data model storage comes from your XML data model, guys, whereas your business configuration UI comes from the instance, and you have to keep a synchronization between these two storages. Then only whatever the changes that you do in your XML file will be reflected to your business configuration UI, and at the same time whatever the changes that you do in your business configuration UI will be reflected to your succession data model, guys. And the job is called as a quad job, guys. It is called as a quad job that you have to set up in your provisioning system, guys. And the name is like synchronized business configuration is the name of the job, guys. Okay, let me show you that. And usually this job is scheduled to run at frequent intervals of time, and the ideal recommendation is like at least try to run it once per day, guys. Okay, so let me show you that, and then I'll move on to the configuration part, guys. Go to manage jobs. Hope you are able to follow that, guys. Manage schedule jobs and create new jobs, and here this is the place where you are going to schedule, synchronize. Yeah, I previously we set it up, guys. That is the reason you can see here. SAP admin, and this is the place where you are going to select the job, guys. Synchronize business configuration. You can see here, this is the job I am talking about, guys. So select the job and provide you the frequency, how frequent you want to run it. You can run it daily. Let's say I want to run it at like say at any time, guys. Like say daily at 1 a.m. and at, that's fine, guys, 1 a.m. and what is the start date? Let's say you want to and end date, you want to give something like that. That's fine, guys. If you want to receive an email notifications out of the job, you can go ahead and do that, or otherwise click on create job. You see here, synchronize, this has been not submitted. Let me go ahead and submit it. You can see here, I submitted that, guys. 1 second. Yeah, you can see here it is submitted now. So it runs at the interval that we have provided to that particular job, guys. We are good with respect to the start step as well, guys. So these are the mandatory things that you have to do with respect to your business configuration UI, guys. Two things in your provisioning system, and the permissions is in your instance, guys. So these three are the mandatory things with respect to your business configuration UI, guys. So the next thing is going to be like, you want to do some configuration. Let's say I want to go ahead and add some custom field to your business configuration through your business configuration UI and related to your employee profile information. In order to do that, go ahead and launch the business configuration, manage business configuration. You see here, manage business configuration is the tool you have to use. Click on that, and by the time, let me log into the instance here. Yeah, here I'm telling you, right, these are two different sections. You see at a high level, you see employee central and employee profile. So the employee central, the tab that you are seeing here, the employee central, how it is going to useful is, you can see here, all these things are nothing but these are the views that you can see in your personal information or job information, guys. Let me show you where you will be able to find out these kind of views. The best example or the best place you can see here, you can see the personal information and employment information, your job information. All these things are nothing but your different views in your employee central module, guys. Let's say you can see here, if you take your employment information, click on employment information, you see here, this is nothing but you can see this job information is one view. You see here, it can be called as a view or a portlet, guys. So nothing specific whether you have to call it as a view or portlet. Yes, you can use either of those things, a view or a portlet, guys. See, this is nothing but a view is nothing but a collection of your different fields here, right? And the same thing you can see here, your job information. Yes, you will be able to find your job information and your personal information. You can see here your personal information, everything in the same fashion, your global info, global assignment info, everything you will be able to see here, guys. And this is the place where you will be configuring your different views or portlets in your employee central module. And if you look at the employee files, these employee files are nothing but the different fields that you are going to use in your employee central module. You see here, all these are nothing but they are not views, guys. They are independent fields that you are going to utilize in your success factor employee central module, guys. Okay, and say if you want to create a new field, and if you want to add that particular field to one of the existing view in your success factor system, yes, you can do that, guys. And in order to do that, you have to select what particular view or portlet where I am to use it. Let's say if you want to use it under the job information, let's go to this job information, and here you can see right now you are able to see all these different things on your job information, and it got its own properties, guys. Whether you can see here whether it is enabled or disabled. You can see here couple of those things are enabled, couple of those things are not enabled, which means that they are not displayed here. Yes, it is there in the object definition, but they are not displayed on the screen. That's fine, guys. Yeah, as long as you understand that, that is good. Let's say if you want to add one more new custom field here, yes, you will be able to do that. And in order to do that, there should be edit option. What is coming up here? Yeah, here you can see. Yes, if you want to add a field, go ahead and select the field, and yes, you are going to add a custom field, right? It is your custom field. Let's say you want to add a custom field, and it is called as the label you want to show it is like, it is going to be like, say, anything else, whatever you feel relevant, right? Go ahead and do that. And if you want to keep labels in different languages, you see here, this is the option, guys. If you click on this small icon here, view translations, click on this. Yes, you can go ahead and keep labels in different language formats, guys. These language formats are coming up based on the different languages that we activated in our system, guys. That's fine. And you can see under which particular portlet or view you want to add it. And say if you want to categorize that under let me keep it under the job info, guys. Okay, and I'm going to display it here, and you can find additional details here, guys. Click on additional details. You see here whether you want to the same thing as whatever we see in the XML file, you see on the business configuration UI, guys, whether you want to make it as a mandatory or not. And yes, you already selected a string. That is the reason you don't see a data type here, guys. And what is the reference object? If you want to refer to a foundation object or employee object or pick list, you want to define a pick list, yes, you can go ahead and do that, guys. And let's say you don't do anything at this moment, guys. If you want to make this field as a pick list, yes, you have to define what are the allowed values that you want to see under this pick list, right? Yes, we know that how to import your pick list, right? You go to your pick list management and import all your pick list, and it will give an ID. That ID is these are the ones that you are going to get out of this import, guys. Yes, you can go ahead and associate one of those things. That's fine. If your field is a dependent pick list, you have to select what is the parent pick list that controls the values in this child pick list. Remember, guys, we have seen that in the introduction to master session, guys. And visibility, whether it should be editable or should be read only to the users. Let me keep it as editable. And whether it is a sensitive data, you want to mask some values inside this particular field. You can see here, you can do that as well. What is the maximum data that it can access? If it is a decimal, what kind of fractional digit it can accommodate? Whether you want to allow these values to be imported from your CSV files import option or not. Yes, you can go ahead and select all those things, guys. Let me click on done. Save it, guys. Duplicate external code found for association ECC field. Hold on a second, guys. Someone brought that particular field to visible mode here. Do you see any code field, guys? EC external code or code field here?